Now, another question, quickly. Do you think we ought to be sending government checks to dead people?
No, Senator, I think that's poor management.
During the pandemic, we sent out $1.4 billion of checks to dead people, didn't we?
I don't have the figure, Senator, but I wouldn't be surprised by that. Given everything
And they were
that I said.
cashed, weren't they?
They generally get cash whether they're dead or not.
What does that tell you?
Somebody's live.
Yep.
Folks, you're not going to believe this. The government sent over $1 billion in taxpayer money to dead people. You heard that right. And today, Senator John Kennedy is demanding answers. How did this happen? Who let it slide? And why did it take years just to stop it? This is one of the most outrageous cases of government waste you'll ever see. Right out the gate, Senator Kennedy doesn't hold back. He asks the Trump nominee a simple but hard-hitting question. Do you think we ought to be sending government checks to dead people? Let's get into it.
Now, Senator Carper and I passed a bill. It took us 2 years. To try to stop that, when you die, the state sends your name to the Social Security Administration. Your name goes on what's called the Death Master File.
Yes, sir.
I went to Social Security and I said, can I see the list? They said, sure. I said, who do you share this with? They said, nobody. We can't. We don't have statutory authority. So you don't share it with the do not pay folks at Treasury? They said, nope. It's against the law. Well, rather than argue with them, Senator Carper and I passed a bill. But believe it or not, to say Social Security, share the dead people list with the rest of government, for God's sakes. Put down the bone and share it with them. And believe it or not, we had opposition. So we had to agree to a 3-year trial period. That 3-year trial, we've saved a bunch of money. That 3-year trial period is up at the end of 2026. I've got another bill with Gary Peters to extend it, to make it permanent. You guys got any problem with that?
Well, Senator, I cannot speak for the president or for Director Vogt.
Oh, go ahead.
But I can't. It's hard for me to imagine who would be opposed.
Well, you'd be surprised.
No, sir. I wouldn't be surprised as it turns out, but I still can't imagine who would be opposed.
Okay. You going to follow the law?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You going to defy court orders?
No, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator.
Dead people have a very good lobby, apparently. So, Senator Murray.
During the pandemic, over $1 billion was sent to people who weren't even alive. And guess what? Many of those checks were actually cashed. So what does that tell us? Someone's cashing them. Whether it's fraud, oversight, or just plain incompetence, this should have never happened. And it gets worse, because when Kennedy and others tried to fix it, they ran into government red tape. Dead people have a very powerful lobby in Washington, apparently. But folks, if we don't hold someone accountable, nothing will change. It's up to us to keep the pressure on, to demand transparency and responsibility from the people handling our tax dollars. Let me know in the comments, should the government make this permanent, or do you think they'll let it slide again? And remember, if you want real talk on politics, corruption, and government waste, subscribe right now. Let's keep exposing the truth. See you in the next one.